Pilipino.
This program is brought to you by Media Pro Incorporated.
It's here, the only radio talk show made specially for all workers of the call center industry. Call Center Radio. It aims to become a platform for conversation about anything related to the call center industry. We'll have different guests every week to discuss some tips, advices, and share inspiring stories of BPO employees. Call Center Radio. Call Center Radio. Hosted by McRhonie, Frank Rizzo, and Tanya Sebron. Every Sunday, 7 to 8 a.m. Only here at DZRJ, 8:10 a.m. Xtine Media, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino.
Good morning Philippines, and it's a beautiful Sunday. Muli tayo maglalagi na naman sa isang oras ng inspiration, motivation, and empowerment na hatid sa inyo ng inyong mga ka-teammates sa BPO. This is Call Center Radio. And of course, ang alam po ng aming founder and producer, walang iba kundi ang Voice Master of the Philippines, Sir Pocholo de Leon Gonzalez. Kami po ang inyong mga ka-teammates sa BPO. I am your call center vlogger. My name is Buendia.
And I am your engineer, BPO teammate, Tanya Sebron.
Yes,
Good morning.
At wala po ang ating ka-teammate ngayon na si Frank. Get well soon sa bagets.
Yes, ayan. Good morning po sa lahat ng listeners natin, especially to those who have been tuning to us and watching us live over Facebook. No? Since our episode 1, we are already at our episode 9.
Bongga.
Greet ko lang si Ramal Ayas tsaka si Ate Aisha who are watching us right now. And then, of course, you can always contact us via our text line at 0939-914-3988 and our hotline 412-0288-997-7589, and we are live over DZRJ 810 AM. Our website is www.atrimedia.com and live kami over Facebook. We have facebook.com/atrimedia. Nasa TV kami right now. atrimedia.tv, and then follow us on Twitter at atrimedia, and Instagram and our YouTube channel also at atrimedia.
Perfect. And of course, nagpapasalamat din tayo sa president ng atrimedia na si Ms. Kay Dasser at sa ating program manager na si Sir Nestor Doria. Salamat po sa pagtitiwala. And of course, this program is made possible by the Pochology Academy, inspiring greatness, excellence, and success, and of course, the Creative Voices Productions.
Ayan. So, ngayon naka-live over tayo, di ba, Facebook and YouTube. So, we would like to encourage everyone na nakaka-relate sa ating topic for today to go ahead and comment down below. And yung mga nag-comment dun sa pictures natin na pinost last time, we will be reading some of them on air.
Correct. So, mag-participate po kayo sa discussion today kasi it's a very exciting episode. O, diba? Kasi pag-uusapan natin today yung mga tips natin for call center agents kung how to become better at doing your job. Okay? So, may mga guests tayo today ng mga expert na sa industries, and I'm very excited. Let's start with our first guest, Tanya.
Okay. She took up Bachelor of Arts in Speech Communication in UP Diliman and graduated cum laude. Started her career in the BPO industry in 2003. Worked as a product trainer for 2 call centers prior to joining Sykes in 2004. Her 13 years in the company exposed her to several roles, from quality expert for language, senior English specialist, learning and development manager for a financial account, and manager for chat solutions. The path she took in the call center industry hit close to her first profession and passion, teaching and inspiring people. Off work, she makes time for cooking, traveling, writing, listening to music on long drives, and working out. Please welcome Miss Xtine Castillo.
Hello, good morning everybody, and good morning to all the listeners of Call Center Radio. Happy to be here.
Perfect. O, diba, te? Parang mas DJ mo siya sa akin. Okay, so let's proceed to our second guest. He's been in the BPO industry for more than 8 years. He started as an agent but worked mostly as a quality analyst. He aims to inspire employees in the BPO industry to enjoy and love what they do, and of course encourage those aspiring call center agents to go for it. He loves to read, write stories and songs, loves to travel, addicted to coffee, and lover of chocolates, pastries, and cheesecakes. He is the sole owner of Taga Call Center Ako page on Facebook and main admin of Taga Call Center on Twitter and Instagram. He is also the author of the book Taga Call Center Ako. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome McRhonie Tomandao.
Hello. Good morning. Thanks for having us here. Pretty pumped up to wake up in the morning.
Oh, di ba? At saka alam ko may mga nanonood ngayon or may mga nakikinig ngayon na either galing sila from work or they are spending their rest day, or probably if you are watching this on rebroadcast, please go ahead and still comment and then share it with your friends, na especially mga wala pa sa industry, para they can get to learn a lot, di ba?
Yes.
That's right.
They got to learn and then avoid natin yung misconception about the industry. What better way to know than from the people who are in the industry, diba?
That's right.
Correct. So let's start with Xtine muna.
Sure.
You can go ahead. How did you get started in the call center industry?
I started off as a teacher, nung after graduation, and then there came a point that I wanted to venture into the corporate world, doing the same thing I love, which is teaching. So to speak, training. At the time, I think the call center industry was in its blooming stages. So I heard a lot about it, but I was half-hearted because I didn't know anything about it at that time. All I know then was a call center industry requires you to take calls. Mm-hmm. But okay. But when I was taken in, I was offered the training post, and I achieved my goal because I wanted to train really. So I ventured into it, and then the rest is history. So from then on, it's all a journey of discovery about what the call center is all about.
Perfect. Kasi di ba kapag gano'n naman, halimbawa teacher ka, normally talaga nandun ka pa rin yung passion mo sa training.
Yes, you hold on to your passion talaga.
Training and development.
That's
Ako
right.
rin, yung nag-agent din ako, and then when I started training yung mga newbies namin, parang nandun yung fulfillment kahit pa nag-OT ka na walang
right.
bayad.
Totoo
It's
yun.
really something na you're really passionate about to help others develop. And of course, we have McRhonie.
I started out back in 2008. I think the moment I turned 18, that's when I started working. And then ever since talaga, call center na. Right. I mean, my birthday was in January, and then in February I got the job. And it was at the time when the industry was really booming. And I got accepted, and that's when the career started. Started as an agent, and then after a year or so, got promoted as a quality, and the entire of my career is mostly in quality. QA department and in quality supervisor post. But right now, I got the chance to be part of an in-house / BPO company. Still,
That's right.
But then again, I guess the experience is there, and it's still customer service oriented company.
That's right.
Do you enjoy being a quality analyst?
I do mostly. Most of the time, I did, and I think there's just tulog moment, antok moment, right? I mean, especially when you're hitting the quota, the number of audits that you need to do, right? And then that's why when you post stuff like that, I can certainly relate kasi parang wow, that's what I used to do. And especially when it's Friday, right? And you're really cramming, right? So like for if you have 50 agents to monitor, you have like 10 in the morning, and Friday you have 40 agents to do.
You're auditing calls.
Yep, calls.
Of agents.
Yep.
Kasi ako nag-QA din ako noon kasi before ka talaga mapopromote into an SME or a support, you will try those things. Parang the management is actually preparing you for the bigger or the higher roles. So parang nag-QA ako noon, and then ang nakakainis kasi pag nag-QA ka and then you mark them down for the mistakes or for the errors, it's as if it's your fault kapag na bumabagsak sila doon sa QA. It's very difficult talaga mag-QA. Boring siya for me.
Sometimes, but do they take it something like personal?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Especially when you're especially when they think that you like them, that kind of that I won't be marked down because that person likes me. Parang ganun. Now pag na-mark down sila, they'll feel bad. Parang ay may nagawa akong something dito.
Diba? FO na to.
They play the friendship card.
What's the hardest part of being a trainer, Xtine?
The hardest part of being a trainer would be to instill well the culture to the newbies of the industry, especially those coming in for the first time. I think kasi training for the most part is psychological, so you really have to hit it where it will interest them. So it's not really imparting the skills or giving them information about it. It's really getting them interested. It's making them want to be here in the industry. I think that's one of the most challenging.
And not give up.
And not give up. That's right. Kasi mga training may allowances yan eh. Right after training, they're gone. Parang you don't know if you'll take it hard kasi you were the trainer and they're gone. What is it that you did wrong?
Yeah.
But apparently it's really it really happens. It's a trend.
After they get the signing bonus, they will hop.
They will disappear.
So we will also talk about yung mga misconceptions about the industry and then yung mga types of people in the workplace, because mostly in the call center or in the corporate world, it's all about connections. It's all about who you know, not really what you know or kung ano ba yung mga tinatrabaho mo doon. Pero normally doon, sabi nga nila yung promotion daw, it's very subjective minsan. Hindi lang porke you're performing, mapopromote ka. So, part din yun ng call center culture, hindi lang po yun nangyayari sa iba, din yung mga politics sa office, pag-usapan din natin yun. Kasi, in order for you to become a better agent, you have to deal with a lot of stress, a lot of people na iba-ibang mga personality. Sabi ko nga nun sa team namin, para kaming nasa loob ng isang reality show or Big Brother house. Kasi parang you're dealing with
Binabantayan
different behaviors talaga ng mga tao. And then minsan may mga nai-evict every week. And then may bago na naman kayong ka-team. Tapos may twist. Kasi every day halos very fast-paced yung industry. I mean, very dynamic siya. Every day nag-change yung mga process. So, ayun. And then, mga qualities for promotion. Of course, yung mga nanonood din sa atin ngayon na currently in the BPO industry or in the call center industry na gusto rin nilang ma-promote.
Yes.
Ano yung mga pwede nyong gawin para makapag-level up?
That's right.
So, first, let's talk about the misconception nun. You said that when you started in a call center, you didn't know anything about it.
Yes. Yun nga, I heard that it's all about taking calls. So I said, okay, fine, I'm a speech graduate anyways, might as well use it. So when I got into the call center, I didn't really realize the other support teams in place. So it's not just you taking a call from the customer, it's you really going through the whole 9 yards in terms of training and immersion. Another misconception would be the call center it's just a springboard to better things.
Correct.
Kasi while you're there, you can grow. Diba parang I wanna be a lawyer someday. Of course, talking by profession. Pero I'll take calls first because it's high paying, right? Because I need the money right now. And then after a few years, I'll step out and pursue my passion. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes you're so confined to that mindset that you forget to evolve as the person you currently are, right? In the industry where you are currently in. So I'd like to shatter that mindset that when you're in the call center, you won't be able to do what you really want to do and you won't be able to grow as a person, both personally and professionally.
Gusto ko yung sinabi niya na yun. Kasi when I started then, ganun din parang sabi ko, stepping stone lang to. Whenever, di ba, during interviews, parang, why did you work in a call center? Or why did you decide to apply here? Sabi ko noon, it's like a stepping stone, of course, to hone my communication skills. And saka mo na gagawin kung ano talaga yung pinag-aralan mo during college. Diba? And then, how about you? Ano yung mga misconception mo na when you started?
Well, that's the same, right? Like, I want to step out. I want to step out of the call center industry as soon as I'm okay. As soon as everything well established or something like that. But then it didn't happen. I got stuck there. But there's nothing bad about that. I mean, it's good because again, there's been. So going back to the question, no, yung misconception. It's I think yung that it's not a real job. I think that's what I want to address there.
It's not a profession.
Right, it's not a profession. It's for something na hindi pa what do you call it? Pag walang pinag-aralan or
hindi mo pa alam kung ano yung gusto mo talaga.
People saying taga-call center lang. I wasn't as affected as the others, but then I felt like I had to do something and say something. That's why I included it dito sa hashtag taga-call center ako. Bali, sinama ko siya doon, because this is real job.
Yeah, let's talk about your book. Parang why did you write that book in the first place? How stressful it can get in the call center industry. That's why we have memes like your page and my page. Shared a lot of funny memes and stuff like that, just to kind of relate of what we're doing every day. And that's when it started. I was just thinking of
call center terms, delivered it in a funny way, right? Like KHT, what else? CSAT, things like that. And then when it started, when I define it, the next day it got many shares. And,
Correct.
And when I wasn't thinking of really that it's gonna grab attention of the people, right?
But it's good for you because you already have an audience. So when you release the book, you already have like a market, diba?
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's when it started because it's just, again, part one, I just, did something, and they were asking for part two. They asked for part two, and then I did it. Then, people just don't get content. They ask for part three. And then, so here we are.
Yeah, here's the
Let's
book.
do this.
So let's show the book to Ayan,
this is
diba?
the camera there.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect. So ayan, are you planning to write another one or?
Actually, yes. Especially now that I get a lot of feedback from people that it opened the gateway for something more. It's like an introduction lang daw. So
Correct.
I didn't see it that way, but then the readers did, and so that kind of encouraged me to do another. I might need your help then, and the people in the industry. I might do a lot of interviews then, and then I might include it in the book. So I'm looking forward to creating Taga Call Center ako, part 2, and then maybe
Correct.
if everything goes well, part 3, right?
Correct, kasi that's the thing about the industry, no? Matagal na siya nag-exist in the country, but wala tayo masyado naririnig about it. Walang movies na dedicated for it, or walang parang concept about like a reality show. Sana kung magkaroon mo lang ng The Voice na parang
That's
call
right.
center, no? Yung mga gusto
Call
maging
center
agent.
edition.
Tapos after nun, ma-hire sila ng mga big companies in the Philippines na pumasok sa BPO.
Wow, that's
Kaya-
It's a good marketing campaign.
Correct, diba?
Yeah.
Kaya yung nag-start din ako noon mag-vlog or mag-YouTube. So I was like really thinking about ano ba yung parang niche market mo. And then I already have like a page with more than 100,000 followers. So why not go ahead and give value to them and then give tips to those people who are actually working in the call center or those people who are aspiring to be one of us. So
Yeah.
Siguro I'm thinking bakit kaya siya hindi ganun ka broadcast or something like other industries? Siguro it's because of the misconceptions. And yung people who are in the industry are just so tired na patulan yung mga nagbibigay ng misconceptions, kasi the best person who will tell you what really it is about being a call center or being in a BPO are those who are inside.
That's
And then
right.
sometimes pag gina-judge sila, they would think na, hindi, hayaan mo sila, little knowledge is dangerous. Hayaan mo sila to think that way. Maybe it's about time that you correct people on their misconceptions. I mean, it's not that you're defending yourself, it's just that pag mali yung iniisip nila about it, correct them. Kasi it's not really na there are a lot of bad people. It's just that some good people do not care to correct yung mga gumagawa ng bad. So, ganun din yun sa concept ng call center. Na if mali sila, correct them. Because yung mali nila, multiply nila yun to everyone who they're talking to.
and they would generalize.
Yes.
So, for example, meron silang
Stereotype.
na-meet na stereotype. For example, may na-meet sila na call center agent who's very like konyo outside or very arrogant. Or ang iniisip kasi nila pag mga call center agents daw very happy-go-lucky o kaya naman yung very maluho.
Yeah.
So pag na-encounter nila yun in public na mga taga-call center ganyan ka-liberated sila yung mga lifestyle nila, it's very different. So generalize nila. For example, I was like talking to an Uber driver. Sabi ko, have you tried na bumiyahe ng overnight? Yeah, normally mga taga-call center, mga kung saan sila pupunta, mga ganito. So, sabi ko, okay, so yun na yung mindset ng driver na yun. So, whenever he talks to someone, nagtanong about, paano yung mga pasahero mo na call center? Ganito, mahilig sila mag-check-in sa mga ganyan, or gimmick sila ng gimmick, parang, and then, nag-i-English sila sa kotse, isa yun sa mga issues, di ba?
That's right.
You were on training. Do you require your trainees to speak in English?
As much as possible, yes.
Yeah,
We cannot discount kasi na for you to get a job in the call center, and there's reality, you have to speak well. Okay, by speaking well, you don't have to sound like a foreigner. We don't expect that. We have vied away from you sounding like a foreigner, but for you to be more understood by the customer. So that's where we're. Do I impose the EOP, right?
Yeah, the English.
EOP is one of the famous acronym, right? English or Filipino, they call it. Oh my God.
That's the English only policy, kaya
That's right.
nadadala na nila sa labas.
But what I I actually roll out is what I call EOP, or English only practice, because practice may not make perfect, but it may make permanent.
Yes.
So if you hear, to those who are listening, people who talk in English all the time, it could be that they're just practicing kasi,
Yeah.
and it's not really for them to show off. It's never really like that, because we encourage them, and for them to be demotivated like that, to be called konyo or ang social naman ito, palibhasa, taga call center, that's very discouraging. Very discouraging.
It's smart shaming nga yun, di ba? Yung kapag nag-English ka, sabi, ano ba yan? Turo na lang i-Englishin mo. So parang
Wala ka na sa
you don't
trabaho,
understand
diba?
what the person is going through, na parang napipressure siya, na kailangan niya, hindi naman kasi kailangan American accent, kailangan neutral. So, di ba, neutral.
So siguro for people, if it doesn't hurt you, wag niyo munang pakialaman. Kasi they are practicing to better themselves.
To better themselves.
Hindi naman sila nag-i-English yun to annoy you eh. Mind you, hindi ka din nila iniisip. Huwag kang assuming.
That's right.
Ano yung mga normally na mga markdown mo nun sa QA? Part ba yun yung grammar and
it's
diction?
It was part of it. Grammar, sentence construction, how they phrase their words. Maybe if it's too wordy, the phrase maybe things that only them understand.
Too much fillers,
like
Small slang,
too much fillers. Yeah, definitely. And slang, and then even the QAs don't understand it. Americans don't understand
That's right.
the slang that he did use.
Whenever I do audits before, I was like, of course, listening to the call, right? And then I would normally like take off my headset like that. Bakit mo sinabi yun? Kasi parang, for example, di ba, ang clear naman ng script, or kahit na hindi naman siya scripted, pero for example, tinanong siya ng customer, where's the Philippines? Sinasabi niya na, where's the Philippines? Actually, it's just a joke, pero sinasabi nila no na, kapag tinahanap daw yung Philippines, hindi nila masabi kasi nga, di ba, sabi nila, where is my call routed? Sabi niya, it's in the Philippines. Oh, really? Where is that? Sabi niya, okay, do you know Japan? Because Japan is the most known country in Asia, di ba? Okay, yes, I know Japan. Okay, sir, turn right.
Ways that.
Yep.
Yun yung mahirap doon pag nagko-QA ka kasi wala na recorded na yon. So hindi mo na siya ang gagawin mo na lang doon, coaching.
Yeah.
Mahirap.
But do you also get on the floor and then talk to the agent while they're doing it if you're doing live?
I think I did it once. Na parang, no, take it back. I mean, bawiin mo yung
Right.
it's wrong.
Recover from it.
Pag nasa production na yung agent, what's gonna be the biggest satisfaction? Or meron ka na bang parang success story mo ng mga agents nun?
Yes, when I handle training for operations, because we have the classroom training that goes on for like 5 weeks, and then embedded in the training would be mock calls, and then their transition to nesting, and then operations.
Correct.
So the targets are also gradual. So meaning, hindi naman ganun kataas when you're in nesting because you're not expected to perform right away. So you're given like what we call the learning curve period to improve yourself.
Correct.
So the biggest achievement would really be to see them perform when they're finally in operations. We don't need thank yous or to blatantly tell us na, you did a great job. For me to see them perform really well and contribute to the account, that's a big thing.
Correct. And then parang pinaka-biggest...
And to stay.
Correct.
To stay talaga.
That's the biggest heartbreak, yung makikita mo siya na zero tolerance. So kaya naman yung na PPIP.
The biggest heartache naman, however, would be when you know that the person is trying really hard, but for some reason, he's not able to achieve targets.
To meet the targets. And the management would decide to either transfer to another project or terminate the contract for non-regularization. So, marami pong mga ganong eksena sa call center. So, it's a serious profession. Hindi siya yung sinasabi nyo na no-brainer or something. Kasi, we are like in school. So, our performances are being measured. Maraming metrics. Sa amin nun, pag CR lang namin, 2 minutes lang siya.
Totoo. Ox.
Naranasan, ano ba yung mga kwentong newbie sa call center mo, McRhonie? Kasi you did take calls, di ba?
Yes.
Ano ba?
Most unforgettable call mo?
Maybe not me. Lalaglag ko yung mga teammates ko bilang I'm not gonna name them anyway. Siguro yung fact na like you have to place the call on hold and then get to the bathroom because you've already consumed in 2 minutes na
correct.
Sinasabi mo. So what they do is if they know, for example, the customer on the other line is downloading like a large file because you asked them to, maybe restoring a phone, right, which would take some time, and yun yung that's the time that you use. You place them on hold, they get back to them once you're done doing your business. practice.
And then the hardest challenge is really to keep yourself awake during the night.
Yeah.
Naranasan ko noon na nakatulog ako during the call kasi kasi tech support ako noon when I started. So I was working for telco in the US. So we were like troubleshooting the modem. But after we set it up, we are installing the software na sa computer. So parang I asked her to, okay, just go ahead and wait for that software to finish and then I'm just gonna be here. Okay?
Yeah.
Tapos nakatulog ako. Hindi pagising ko iba na yung caller.
And you go like,
Anong grade mo nun?
Nakakahiya talaga no. Kasi buti na lang hindi siya na-audit kasi zero tolerance
Yeah.
yun, di ba? Sa
And you go
Nag-hang
like-
up yung customer.
Nag-hang up na
it's
siya.
a
So, siguro, na-disconnect yung call or whatever and then iba na yung caller ko. So, ang ginawa ko, kinolbakan ko yung first caller and then, basta, I really tried to work it out and then make sure na sana mag-survey man siya, hindi pa rin yung very dissatisfied. Kasi
Yeah.
part ng metrics nun yung CSAT.
Yeah, I think that's a challenge as well to work
Correct.
night shift.
Perfect, yeah. So, when we
Yes.
come back, we will talk about more about dun sa mga tips, dun sa mga agents natin ngayon, or dun sa mga upcoming or mga aspiring agents na gusto rin
Yeah.
pumasok sa industry.
Yep.
We have to take a break. Current time check in the Philippines at 7:31 a.m. Stay with us.
Your page. Out in Facebook.
Welcome back to Call Center Radio, and pinag-uusapan pa rin po natin ang mga tips on how to become a better agent. We have Xtine, Castillo and McRhonie Tomandao on the booth. Bonggang-bongga.
Yes, and would like to greet yung mga live na naka-tune in sa atin dito sa Facebook. No, we have Albert Solis. Frank is not hosting. Unfortunately, yes, he is not kasi sick yung kanyang kiddo. Please pray na maging okay na si Baby Frank. Baby Frank, maliit kasi na Frank. Tapos, we have Oliver Allen Lee. Yay, MA, lol. Am I Dita
Which part yung Lola Ball doon?
Am I Dita from UK? We have Ate Aisha and Kuya Kevin and Princess Maya. We also have David Angelo.
Yes, a question. No?
Yeah, is the language you use in call center depending on which country you are serving? Mamaya, let's answer that. And then, MA, sobrang layo na talaga ng narating mo. So proud.
Thank
so
you,
proud.
Jeff.
Morning, Jeff Frias.
Classmate ko siya nung college.
Yeah.
So, we are gonna be reading some of the responses niyo or yung mga comments niyo pala about the topic yung sa pinost namin na promo last night. Go ahead, Tanya.
Ayun. We have from Bench Cabaluna Jr. Sabi niya, medyo mahaba pero I'll summarize how we have. Working smart is greater than working hard. True. And then we have Emil Cruz. He says here, marami siyang points but then ito, never ever release calls. Feeling ko, yun, pag maging professional ka, diba? Never, even though if it's very difficult or exhausted ka na, if you have exhausted all the resources, then you can always escalate it to your supervisor.
Correct.
And then we have here, Kian Valderrama. Sorry if mali yung pag-pronounce ko. Anyway, she says, just be yourself and then know your metrics and be wise to make sure that you always reach it at the end of the month. And then we have here, lastly, si Justine May Alamar. Know which criticisms are good for you and which ones are just plain destructive. Know who to listen to and believe in.
So, taking feedback, yun yung
Yes,
advice niya,
na-discuss
diba?
natin yan last
Pag-usapan
time.
din natin yun, di ba, last time. By the way, ang Call Center Radio po ay hatid sa inyo ng Pochology Academy headed by Sir Pocholo de Leon Gonzalez. We are a group of empowerment speakers whose mission is to inspire success, greatness, and excellence in every Filipino. So, going back to the topic, pag-usapan nga natin yung may question kanina si David Yangilo about yung language daw ba ay nag-vary kung ano yung country na sinusupport natin.
From a training perspective, it does. And it's important that they understand that. By that, what I mean is you need to be able to determine what kind of word a particular culture is using.
Correct.
For example, if the customer is from the UK, there are some words used in the UK that are not used in the US or they have counterparts. If the person is from APAC, definitely meron din mga words na ginagamit na kailangan mo maintindihan. When you're in chat support, which is non-voice, you have to be able to recognize the language of chat or acronyms, right? So we tried as much as possible to infuse that in our training design so that they're better prepared. But are they expected to speak like the region they're supporting? They're not. That's why we're gunning for neutral language because we have gone global in our support.
Perfect. At saka hindi lang naman language yung importante doon. Importante rin na matutunan yung culture ng
That's
country
right.
na sinusupport mo para mas maging relatable ka mas maging personal yung conversation
Yeah.
mo with the client.
Kasi I have experience, I'm not taking calls, pero I have experience with a business stakeholder kasi siya from Europe. Europe is very straight to the point.
Correct.
Yung talagang walang mushy words. They don't intend to offend you, but us being a little sensitive, kasi ako...
Emotional Filipinos.
Emotional, hindi naman ako umiyak doon. Medyo sensitive lang ako na parang with the please, kindly na mga words. Pero kasi Europe is blatant siya, diretso siya. So parang after that call, sabi ko, bakit ba ako na-offend? And then I come to realize, hindi, ganun talaga yung culture nila. So that way, I understood Europe more. So naging medyo smooth naman yung conversation
That's
natin.
right.
Ano yung mga sinusupport mo nun, McRhonie, na client?
Mostly US and then Australian account. And APAC.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was mentioned earlier. You don't have to sound like them. I believe they know that you're from a different country. They know that. They understand that you don't speak the language like your first language. So just don't be conscious about thinking too much of words to use, because again, you just be natural. Again, that's the goal of neutral accent training, and then you don't have to sound like them.
Correct.
And then the vocabulary, at least read words.
Read a lot.
Manood kayo ng US
lot.
series kung
Yes.
US yung sinusupport nyo, you would learn.
Read a lot and read out loud.
Out loud.
Yes.
Correct.
Out loud.
Tsaka yung tipong you don't really have to talk na super magaling ka, because sometimes too much words is very confusing. Maybe you can empathize with the client kasi they need help, that's why they're calling you, diba? So be human and empathize.
To save the handling time, you have to be concise and make sure to be direct to the point. Kasi yun din yung ayaw nila, yung mga beating around the bush, ng mga
Small
Tsaka,
talks, yes.
Especially Filipinos kasi, we tend to speak faster whenever we're tense. Diba? Whenever parang hindi tayo sure doon, we would say a lot of things. And then ano nangyayari doon? And then sabi ko rin din sa mga newbies or yun dun sa mga wala pa sa call center, do not really focus on your accent too much. Okay? Focus on the construction, how to phrase things na mas understandable, mas
Yes.
easy na maintindihan ng kahit na sino, especially if you were working in a tech support. Kailangan dun mas detailed ka when it comes to your instruction. So you have to work on those.
I agree. I remember supporting a Singaporean person. Remember, the American accent doesn't work for those areas.
Correct.
Right? And then you have to really sound baroque, sound
Authentic talaga na.
Right. Just make sure they understand you. I think that's what you were saying.
Yes.
Kumbaga, don't focus too much on your accent. Kung di ko naman naiintindihan, wala din, di ba? Walang point yung ginagawa
You adjust
mo.
on the pace of your caller. Kung yung
Yes.
caller mo old lady,
Yeah.
you don't really have to sound like a New Yorker there. Okay? You sound like a Southern
Right.
Texas
Yeah.
You would end up
lady.
repeating yourself.
Kung
Your goal is not really to look smart Your
Or to
goal is to
impress
help
them.
them.
Impress.
Yes.
Impress.
You're right.
no matter how good you are in speaking, they would still know na this is not an American person. Or,
Right.
kasi may something talaga dun sa twang nila, the way they connect words and liaise things. And then yung mga slang nila, of course hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-slang ng mga informal dun sa calls kasi mini-maintain pa rin ng company kasi you're representing the client,
Yes,
yung
yeah.
professionalism. So
Professionalism.
kahit pa may mga shortcuts sila doon or meron sila doon mga words na gagamitin mo lang siya kapag it's a street language, diba? Hindi mo siya pwedeng gawin. For example, may caller ako nun dati from 90210, so it's Beverly Hills, California. So, normally, yung mga tao doon, they're like very busy. So, kailangan lang talaga nila, should I pay my account or whatever, kailangan lang nila yes or no. Okay? So, mag-a-adjust ka na doon. Hindi mo na pwedeng sabihin na, okay, based on the... Iba kasi doon parang, I believe that...
Miss Universe,
Hindi na like that, diba? Parang marami tayong fillers.
Sinasabi, right.
Correct.
That's right.
I really do apologize.
They're over-apologizing
Yeah.
kasi we feel we're inferior.
Correct.
I think that affects calls more than anything else, any other factors, that we're inferior as a culture.
Yeah.
Yun din yung fears din nila na paano daw kapag very intimidating yung caller. How would you handle yung mga, hindi naman sa irate, pero like super techie, for example, or someone na hindi mo talaga pwedeng mapasunod. Someone na parang kinakain ka na ng buhay dun sa phone. How would you handle those? Ano yung mga tips ninyo for agents?
You have to pause kailangan mong don't take it personally kasi they're mad at the service, at the product that they got. They're not mad at you. You have to understand people are people. They have feelings, they get hurt, they get frustrated, they get emotional, right? And you don't have, yung sinasabi natin na adjust tone, yung adjust tone, kumbaga, sabayin natin yung ano nila, yung level ng ano nila, in an empathetic way. Hindi yung parang, sabayan mo rin ang galit mo.
Correct.
Yung iba, we see agents kasi rin na nag-mute na, tapos nagalit na rin, na-frustrate na rin, naghanap na rin ng kung ano-ano.
Have you seen the PLDT scandal?
No.
The way the agent handled it, kasi nga, di ba, nag-curse yung caller because of the PLDT service. And then parang she cursed back. So that call was like very, very wrong. Yung call handling nun. Super, isa yun sa mga example. Tsaka yung kamaka-breaker. Di ba? Yung pinapaspell out.
Yes.
So parang hindi ka
And the Citibank too, right?
The Citibank. I think it's like a prank call or whatever. Pero let's talk about yung mga qualities for promotion din. Kasi di ba kayo, you started as an agent and then naging QA or whatever.
Right.
Ano yung mga tips niyo dun sa mga current agents ngayon na parang they're also aiming for level up?
For me, number one is it's really important for you to know what you want. Kasi unless you know what you want to do in life, you'll never get anywhere. Whatever job you have right now, it's just a job for you. It's not a career. So for example, if I want to use my people skills, you're probably a best fit for human resources, right? Or if you're really technical, you can have a career in IT. So work towards that goal, how you can be better in terms of pursuing that passion. As an agent, to not confine yourself, and I cannot emphasize this any further, to thinking that this is just a springboard job, that there's no way for me to go. I'm just gonna take calls, right? So if you want to improve further, you have to be proactive in your approaches. If you don't know anything, approach your management team or your team lead. If you have something to say, be transparent about it. Do not think that others are better than you or less than you are, because you're unique. Yung mga technicals and givens would be when you're in training, take down notes. I read that in the comments. Listen intently. If you have something to share, voice it out. So those are the givens, but the core value should be there. You have to want what you're doing.
Correct. Tsaka gusto ko yung sinabi niya doon na know your strengths, kasi nga di ba, know your strengths and then nurture them, and then know your weaknesses as well.
And do something
work
about
on
it.
them. Correct.
Yes.
Diba? How
Tsaka
about
yung springboard yata, di ba?
Lagi yun eh.
Sige,
I hear
if it's
that.
your starting point bago ka pumunta ng career mo, okay lang naman yun. Just make it a point that you still do a reflection of your workmanship. Yung you do your best, you don't just okay lang to kasi hindi naman to talaga yung passion ko eh. And then hindi ka na magpo-perform. It's different. It still reflect you as a person.
Yes.
yung work ethics na natutunan mo doon, you can still bring it to the next job na gagawin mo. Kung tamad ka doon, next job mo baka ganun din.
It's a
Kaya yung mga
habit.
call center hoppers, iba, normally after training, kapag na-board na sila, same yung nagiging issue nila eh. For example, they encounter a conflict dun sa office na yun, parang bad manager or parang bad co-worker. Resign na sila. And then lipat sila. May na-encounter ulit sila na gano'n. Same thing, lipat ulit sila. So parang it's like, you're not really fixing it, or you're not really... Kasi it's all about your reaction to certain circumstances.
We call it band-aid solution eh. Parang you just quick fix lang siya dun sa what you are actually encountering right now. Pero does it really solve it? No. Every time naman, everywhere, kahit na wala ka sa work, you will be meeting those kind of people.
And be it in the call center or other industries, at the end of the day, you'll be measured by your performance.
Yes, exactly.
Right? If you want to get somewhere, then you should be able to achieve the targets. And if you're not doing anything about it, then might as well not try at all.
Yes.
Yep, that's
How about you, Ronnie?
Siguro yun niya. Love your job, no? I mean, it's not easy to do that. I think I'm speaking to people who want the promotion, right?
Yes.
I mean, kasi kung di mo naman gusto mo promote, and this is that, baby,
May ganon.
diba?
No.
Kasi there are people who prefer to stay na agent lang sila, right? I mean, pero kung gusto mo promote yun, yung tinatawag na proactiveness, yung hindi ka naman bibo eh, yung parang pabida, hindi ka ganun eh, pero bibo ka. Dapat, kumbaga hindi lang yung ginagawa ng mga ka-team mo, yun lang din ginagawa mo. Kung ano yung mga inassign sa'yo na task, yun lang.
lang.
Kailangan TL, may gagawin pa ba ako?
Right. You go the extra mile.
Yeah, that way nakikita nila na this person is interested. They would give you task and you have to be faithful dun sa binigay na task sa'yo. Kailangan mong galingan dun until you get there. And always be humble dun sa kung ano yung mga nararating mo kasi your teammates would support you eh.
And I would tell then yung mga agents na gusto rin nila ma-promote, kapag binigyan kayo ng extra task, ibig sabihin nun, it's an extra trust.
Right.
So if someone trusts you, kahit na hindi mo, parang feel mo hindi mo naman kaya mag-train, hindi mo kaya mag-QA,
Yes.
or hindi mo kaya magsalita ng straight English, you work on it. Kasi ibig sabihin, someone's trusting you, you don't want to disappoint them. Because parang mini-measure din kasi kung paano ka mapopromote based on your maturity.
Right.
Kung nakita nila na okay, hindi lang dahil sa matanda na siya doon sa account, or matanda na, yung iba kasi ganun parang iniisip nila yung tenure, okay na siya na qualification para ma-promote. No, kahit 10 years ka na doon and then merong kapapasok lang na 1 year, pero that person is actually working extra hard. Hindi naman sa nag-OT siya every day. That's not really it. Pero it's all about doing the extra mile.
That's right.
Or exceeding expectations.
That's right.
Yeah, if they give you extra tasks, that means they see the potential in you. Yun nga, in every industry naman if you are at level 1 and you want to be level 2, do something that a level 2 is doing. Kasi if you'll just do everything na level 1 lang, why will they promote you? Diba? You're very good at level 1, so just stay at level 1.
That's right.
Yeah.
Correct. And then when we come back, we will talk about how to manage stress. Dun sa work, talagang in-stress ko rin yung stress. Yung mga advice dun sa mga agents na willing na mag-work sa call center na may mga issues pa, yun yung mga lessons na natutunan nila sa job. O, diba? Time check in the Philippines at 7:49 a.m. Stay with us.
Ito ang DZRJ 8:10 AM. H-Try Media, ang himpilan ng bawat Pilipino.
Welcome back to Call Center Radio. Pinag-uusapan pa rin po natin ang mga tips on how to become a better agent, and we have in the booth Castillo and McRhonie Tomandao, ang author po ng Taga Call Center Ako. So, going back sa ating topic, pero bago yan, greet muna natin yung ating mga nasa Facebook Live ngayon. We have Amber Madrigal, Yonon Wu, Aubrey Ian Alovera.
Hi, Aubrey.
Febes Rivera, Rod Castillo Fedelino, and then we have Emma Rodriguez. Thank you dun sa mga nagpa-participate dun sa discussion. Meron sila mga tips, so it's very helpful dun sa mga nanonood ngayon sa rebroadcast or dun sa live session na you can go ahead and participate as well. Please comment your suggestions or kung ano yung mga feeling yung tips ninyo for call center agents. So moving on, let's talk about how to manage stress dun sa work.
Stress and like all
work,
caps.
Diba, you work in a call center for 13 years.
For 13 years, over 13 years. 13 years with Sykes Asia. So,
okay. So ano yung schedule mo doon?
Iisip ko tuloy.
I've been to all shifts practically. Morning, mid-shift, night shift, straight shift, multiple shifts. I've been there. So how did I can't remember. It's a long time ago.
But you still look like vibrant, diba?
Thank
Would
you.
you agree?
No
Hindi
stress,
halata
signs
na
of stress at all.
Iniisip din nila sa call center din yung
years.
mga tao ay bagin. Di ba dun sa commercial ng Strepsils na
Stress tab.
stress tabs, di ba? Na parang call center agent yung parang may mga eyebag. No, depende rin talaga yun how you...
Distress.
Yeah, distress. Yung lifestyle mo rin.
It's your outlook in life. I think nabanggit kanina ni Tanya or I think ni MA yung mga Uber drivers or taxi drivers who have comments about call center people hanging out, living a happy-go-lucky life. Well, just to show that they know how to integrate life into their work. So we call it work-life integration. Parang you don't live to just work and you don't work just to live. Right. So when life doesn't have to be perfect, it has to be lived. So you try to come up with, number one, a motivation. Yeah. Who are you doing this for, or what are you doing this for? And you think about that. A specific motivation would be weekend or rest day. Yeah. You know, think about what you're gonna do on your rest day, and then when you're encountered with boredom or an irate caller, you just think about it. Focus your mind to it, and everything will fall into place. I'm not saying it's a surefire thing because people are different, but it works. It works. Another one is, syempre, pag nagtitake ka ng calls, you're expected to sit and take calls for like a number of hours. You can stand up. Some
Correct.
accounts allow that. Stretch, right? Do cartwheels, I don't know. As long as it does not affect the call, right? Do whatever you want as long as, you're professional over the phone. And the third one would be, again, try to infuse some life into your work, right? When you're on break, try to be with your team, talk to them. That's a good way to distress when you have people to talk to. Don't talk bad about management or how bad the call was, but talk in a constructive manner. Always look forward to having group time with people, with your support circle, right? Kasi yun eh, you don't feel alone.
Participate dun sa mga engagement activities ng project,
Building,
diba? Team buildings.
The fish and activities, yeah.
Correct. And then get sleep, diba? Yun yung pinaka-importante.
Yeah.
Hindi ko ma-imagine yung mga tao na ako before ganyan din ako. Kaya ko na mag-shift ako ng 9 hours and then after that gimmick and then matutulog lang siguro ako ng mga 3 hours or 2 hours and that's it, papasok ulit. But you are actually killing yourself kasi that's the way for your body to recuperate dun sa stress niya na overnight, especially
That's
yung
right.
voice. Diba yung throat natin, to heal itself, kailangan mo ng sleep, diba?
Yeah, and you may have survived that for quite some time, pero maniningil at maniningil pa din kasi yung katawan mo dun.
Yes,
Correct.
the time will
Diba?
come.
Kaya mataas yung HMO, yung mga medical
Yung pala reason
benefits
mo.
center. Yeah, kasi because of that. Correct, di ba? Parang ang pangit naman nun na nag-overtime ka nga and then nagtrabaho nga ng super hard o kaya naman nag-enjoy mo nga, nag-gimmick ka naman pero lahat naman ng kinita mo mapupunta lang sa hospital bills o kaya naman okay nang na hindi mo magamit yung HMO mo, diba? Kaysa naman magamit mo siya. That's really my belief.
Another, if I may say, always make time for other passions in life.
Correct.
So, say for example, I like cooking. So, I'm if I want to distress, I just go to the kitchen and whip something up. Or if you like playing the guitar, if MA like blogging, Ronnie writes books.
Yeah.
It's a good way to balance your life.
Siguro yun, rest and then focus on the
Recreation.
positive. Yeah, diba? You've already had so much negative in the calls and all. Wag nyo nang dagdagan.
Yeah, ano yung advice mo, Ronnie, dun sa mga nag-struggle ngayon sa job nila na gusto nila mag-quit?
Go back to when you started. Siguro yung nag-apply ka, yung alam mo yung moment na gustong-gusto mo yung trabaho.
Correct. And you're very excited,
Pinaghirapan
diba?
mo, nag-requirements ka, nag-training ka. Tapos, di ba, dahil lang nagsawa ka for a moment na, kumbaga dahil lang yung for that week might have been bad, sumuko ka na, parang gano'n. Ano lang, kumbaga talagang go back to where you started. Yung passion mo, para kanina ka gumigising, yun yung kaninang
Nescafe.
di ba, yun yung kaninang translation sa niya eh. Kumbaga, bakit mo to ginagawa? You have to live. Yun nga, kumbaga, wala namang madaling trabaho. Lahat ng trabaho mahirap.
Correct.
Pero dahil dito ka napunta, kumbaga, find your way out sa mga stresses. Yun, yung mga hobbies mo, do it pa din. Hindi naman pag nag-call center ka na, porke na wala mo yung... Di ba may mga kaibigan kasi tayo before sa call center na hindi mo na nakakasama. Di ba? Kasi nga, ibang schedule, right? And even family reunion, na-miss mo na lahat. Di ba? Pero, yung ginagawa mo kasi, na hobby mo, anytime yan eh. So, kung mahilig ka sa music, do it. Mahilig ka magsulat, mahilig ka mag-vlog, do it. Pag
Do it on the side. Huwag yung sabay dun sa work. Pangaloob.
Nagbablog habang nasa call.
Diba?
I'll put you on hold for a while. Okay, guys, this is my third caller.
Basta yun lang. I mean, I suggest think about the people that you love na kung para sa mga ginagawa mo, di ba? Kasi love entails sacrifice. So, yung mga OFW nga, natitiis nila na nasa ibang country sila. And then, do not take your job for granted. I mean, look at those construction workers na nagpapakahirap sa labas and then ikaw nakaupo ka lang sa table mo and then air condition and then you're getting paid like 5 figures a month. Parang go back to that and then be thankful and be grateful about the job that you have, diba?
Tsaka when you're at the brink of deciding if you are going to resign or to quit, siguro take time to pause and don't decide when you're emotional.
That's right.
Kasi it will influence a lot of your decisions. And if you think na sige, ang dami nang nagre-resign, baka kailangan ko na din mag-resign. No, don't go with a bandwagon. You sit down and think, what are my basic requirements? Bakit ba ako magre-resign? Does this really answer anything I have in life? Or gusto ko lang talaga sundin yung mga nag-resign kasi they have their own reasons. Feeling ko pareho kami. Hindi, you have a different requirement. Diba? Iba yung reason mo for going there. Wag kang sumunod. Be who you really want to be.
Perfect. So, ayan. super ganda na ating discussion today, di ba? May mga gusto pa kayong batiin? Mabilis lang.
I want to greet my best friend, Gia. She woke up really early to listen. So, thank you.
Go ahead, promote your book.
Binabati ko yung family ko, yung kapatid ko si Marie Chris nagpabati. Sabi ko, may ganun pala sa radio. So, anyway, I did it. And then even my group, friends from work, Uber, and syempre yung mga friends and from the church. And this book, available at all leading
Grab a copy, guys. I have that book
nationwide.
How much?
This is only for $120.
Di ba? Isang Starbucks lang yan.
Right.
Isang latte
kasi,
lang.
baka magka-part 2 di ba? Mamimiss mo yung first part.
Get the book and like the page. Taga-call center ako.
Thank you, Ronnie, for the book.
Correct. And also, don't forget to like the Facebook page of Call Center Radio. And then, Tanya, may gusto mong batiin?
Yung tita ko lang na supportive. Sobrang supportive. Gumising na. Hindi, nagstay up late kasi nasa London sila. Hi, tita. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Si mama ko sa rebroadcast na siya kasi Borlogs pa.
And on July 15, I'm gonna be attending Coaching That Sticks. It's the leadership training for supervisors sa Dasela Garden. So, until tomorrow pa yung registration, so just go ahead and join them. Visit Go Up Events Management on Facebook. So, let me just...
And like our Facebook page pala, it's Call Center Radio. And then you can also like our personal page. I have Tanya Sempron and MA.
My page is MA Buendia and subscribe to my YouTube channel, MA Buendia HD. Okay. Sa ngalan po na aming producer and founder, walang iba kundi ang voice master of the Philippines, Sir Pocholo de Leon Gonzalez. Kami po ang inyong mga ka-teammates sa BPO. Ako ang inyong call center vlogger, MA Buendia.
And I am your engineer BPO teammate, Tanya Sempron.
Once again, this is Call Center Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in and see you next Sunday. Bye guys. Love out.
Bye-bye.